Let's talk Tanya for the 8th of Kislev. In the last few days of Tanya, we've talked about the importance of mitzvahs, doing mitzvahs, connecting to Hashem in that way, as opposed to trying to create some sort of spiritual connection using the powers of our souls, our love for God, our awe for God, etc. And today the Alter Rebbe is going to add another idea. And that is based on something which we've talked about in the past on many occasions, that the way God established the system of creation is that although we are on the lowest rung, we are the lowest world, and we are reliant on the higher worlds for the flow of energy, of divine energy that comes to us, but we control all the switches and all the levers and we push all the buttons, because whatever we do, we cause a reciprocal effect above. Now, something which is spoken about in Kabbalah a lot is that when we talk about in the higher worlds, everything is composed of oires and kelim, which translates literally, although it's not the greatest translation, but it translates as lights and vessels, or energy and container. And we also are made up of energy and container, a light and a vessel. The energy, the light is the soul, the container, the vessel is the body. So therefore, the interplay of our light and vessel impacts the interplay of the lights and the vessels in all the higher worlds. Now think about this for a second. When we have a relationship with Hashem, which is constituted of our feelings for Hashem, our love for Hashem. Now, when we have feelings for Hashem, our love, that is the light extending and reaching upwards and outwards out of the container and reaching for and yearning for Hashem. That causes actually an impact in all the higher worlds, a similar impact. What happens is that the lights in all the worlds, instead of settling into the container, which is actually the purpose, that the lights and the container should unite, and thereby the light goes even lower and lower and lower until it reaches our world. What we are causing is a histalkus, or a hala, that the lights actually leave the vessels and they return to their source, which actually is a dangerous thing. Mitzvahs, on the other hand, is the opposite. When we're doing a mitzvah, what we're doing is we are drawing down light into this world, into the physical world, and that has therefore a corresponding impact also in all the higher worlds, that we're drawing the light into the vessels. Now, does that mean that our emotions towards God, our love of God, our awe for God aren't important? So in other places in Chassidus it says, no, they're very important actually, because a mitzvah draws down light. So when the mitzvah is accompanied by our feelings for God, then what happens is our feelings cause the lights to depart. The mitzvah causes a new and even higher energy then to enter our bodies and into the vessels in all the worlds. But if we have only the feelings and we do not have the mitzvahs, then all we're doing is causing a histalkus. The light ascends and departs the container, and that's obviously not a good thing. And just as this happens when we do a mitzvah, the same thing happens also when we study Torah and we articulate the words. Number one, when we're articulating the words, we're doing a mitzvah and we're bringing the light into our body because we're using our body. And also, as we've spoken earlier in Tanya in the previous segments, every time we're studying about a mitzvah, it's as if we're doing the mitzvah. Once again, we are bringing down the light here into this world. In tomorrow's Tanya, we are going to return to an idea which we spoke about a few days ago, the idea that when we do mitzvahs with a physical object over here, we are actually bringing light into the world of Atzilus. And Alter Rebbe is going to ask the question, how is it that me doing a mitzvah with a physical object over here in this world, a physical object which is actually an object of Klippa, that I managed to bring lights into the holiest of worlds, into the world of Atzilus?